And basic research is the largest use of animals in biomedical sciences. It is where most animals are used and actually where very little attention is drawn to. And this is where our tax dollars tend to go towards when we're talking about basic research. And this could be using animals in the lab to study basic biological mechanisms or to study basic mechanisms of a disease, for example. There's no applied benefit that comes out from this basic research. Well, in 2000, the Institute of Medicine here in the United States, which is considered a very prestigious medical body, took a look at basic research, and they took a look at what develops out of all of this basic research. And they concluded and published this conclusion that despite the great promise that comes out of basic research, it has led to very little tangible human benefit. That was in 2000, and there's no indication that that has improved in any sense. If we look at applied research, and here I'm talking about drug development, I'm sure many of you have seen this number here. About 15 years ago, the Food and Drug Administration had come out and stated that about 92% of the drugs that go through the drug development process fail in clinical trials. And that number ranges anywhere from 90 to 96%, depending on the disease category of interest. And that number has not changed over the past 15 years, despite many, many attempts to improve the use of animal testing for drug development. And if we look at why there's such a high failure rate in drug development, so several explanations are brought up. One is that regulatory hurdles are potentially becoming higher and higher. The other is that clinical trials are very long and expensive, and those two possibilities are very much probably very accurate. But the third reason that's increasingly coming to light is the poor predictability of animal experimentation. And so what we are seeing is about 30% of the drugs fail in the clinical trial stage because of toxicity effects in humans that were not predicted by the preclinical tests. And that includes animal experiments as well as traditional in vitro tests. And about 70% of those drugs fail because they end up not being effective in humans.